नमस्कार, मी स्पृहा जोशी. खजिनाच्या या भागामध्ये तुम्हा सगळ्यांचं स्वागत. खजिनाच्या माध्यमातून आपण नेहमी त्या लोकांची गप्पा मारतो ज्यांनी वेगवेगळ्या क्षेत्रामध्ये काहीतरी खूप मोठी कामगिरी केली आहे आणि आपला ठसा उमटवला आहे. अशा रिअल लाईफ हिरोजबरोबर, रिअल लाईफ सेलिब्रिटीजबरोबर गप्पा मारायचा या सिरीजच्या माध्यमातून आपला प्रयत्न असतो. आज आपल्याशी गप्पा मारायला असंच एक पॉवर कपल आलं आहे. मित्रांनो, सध्याच्या या कोविडच्या काळामध्ये आपल्या मुलांचं संगोपन कसं करायचं, त्यांच्या ऑनलाईन शिक्षणाचं काय होणार, त्यांना एंगेज ठेवायला कुठल्या वेगवेगळ्या ॲक्टिव्हिटीज द्यायच्या, असे प्रश्न अनेक पालकांना पडत आहेत. पण आज आपल्याकडे जे ब्रायन आणि जॅनिस आलेत, त्यांची दोन्ही मुलं ही ऑटिस्टिक स्पेक्ट्रममधली आहेत. या मुलांसमोरचे चॅलेंजेस, त्यांच्यासमोरचे प्रश्न हे आणखीन वेगळे आहेत आणि त्याहीपेक्षा जास्त त्यांच्या पालकांसमोरचे प्रश्न आणखीन वेगळे आहेत. ब्रायन आणि जॅनिस रॉड्रिग्स या ऑटिस्टिक असलेल्या मुलांच्या पालकांमध्ये जनजागृती करण्याचं आणि त्यांना पॉझिटिव्हिटी देण्याचं एक अत्यंत महत्त्वाचं काम करतात. आपल्या मुलांच्या संगोपनापासून त्यांच्या शिक्षणापर्यंत आणि त्यांच्या विकासापासून अगदी गिनीज बुकमध्ये त्यांचं नाव जाण्यापर्यंतचा त्यांचा जो प्रवास होता, त्याबद्दल आज आपण त्या दोघांची गप्पा मारणार आहोत. ऐकूया त्यांच्याकडून. सो मी मगाशी सांगितल्याप्रमाणे आता आपल्या सोबत आहेत ब्रायन आणि जॅनिस. हाय ब्रायन, हाय जॅनिस.
Hello, Miss Spruha. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All good, all good. All good.
First of all, thank you so much for coming here, talking to me, and allowing me actually to peep into your lives and get a whole new insight about this thing.
Thank you so much. It is our pleasure, and we hope and we pray, that we can contribute as you are also doing the same. I mean, in coming into our world, that's what we should say, that you are taking an effort to come into our world, and it is a pleasure, it is an honor.
Sorry to all the Mauritians out there. My Marathi is not that good, so I will try to connect as much as possible. तर थँक यू व्हेरी मच तुम्हाला सर्वांना की आम्हाला ही संधी भेटली तुमच्या प्लॅटफॉर्मवर आमच्या ज्या मनात जी गोष्ट आहे ते तुमच्याकडे कम्युनिकेट करण्यासाठी. सो थँक्यू सो मच.
ब्रायन, सगळ्यात आधी तर आपण प्रयत्न करूया आपण तिन्ही भाषांमध्ये बोलू एकमेकांशी, अँड जसं तुम्हाला कम्फर्टेबल असेल तशा या गप्पा आपण पुढे नेऊया. माझ्या मनात खूप प्रश्न आहेत ऑटिझमबद्दल, ऑटिझम असलेल्या मुलांबद्दल, त्यांच्या पालकांबद्दल, त्यांच्या एकूण रुटीनबद्दल, त्यांच्या समोरच्या चॅलेंजेसबद्दल. आणि मला खात्री आहे की माझ्या आसपास अशी अनेक माणसं आहेत ज्यांच्या मनात सुद्धा हेच प्रश्न असणार आहेत. सो ह्या प्रश्नांची उत्तरं तुमच्याकडून आज आम्हाला हवी आहेत आणि मी जास्तीत जास्त ते प्रश्न तुम्हाला विचारण्याचा प्रयत्न करणार आहे. First of all, I want to know from you guys that how did this journey with autism actually begin?
Well, Spruha, it actually started when we were in Dubai. We actually just recently moved to India, basically, in 2013. So both our children were born and brought up there. And let me also start with a little background of us. I was born and brought up in Dubai. And Brian also was there for the past 2 decades, I would say. And our children were also born and brought up there. When the diagnosis came to us, initially it was Joanne, say around 1.5 to 2 years, she was diagnosed that she's on the spectrum. And we started our journey. And later on, you can say the bomb blast came to us that our son is also on the spectrum. And that's how, a life changing decision that we had to take, and we had to move back to Mumbai because with all our research at that point of time, we got to understand that the resources are better in Mumbai. And, we had to do this. We were on the peak of our careers, both of us. But at the end of it, it is the development and the progress of our children. Right. So we moved to Mumbai, and then Brian will take over.
No, in fact, as you always say, जे काही आम्ही करतात आपल्या जीवनात ते आम्ही करता आमच्या मुलांसाठी. So when we saw that the kids are under autism spectrum, And this was way back because Joanne was born in 2007. Our son Bryden was born in 2009. So by 2009, when Joanne was detected to be on the spectrum, Janice was already pregnant with Bryden. So we did not know like any clue about it. And say another 1.5 year, Bryden was also on the spectrum. तर आमच्यावर तो डबल शॉक भेटला आम्हाला की फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आम्हाला माहितीच नव्हतं की हे ऑटिझम काय आहे म्हणून. कारण काय दोघांच्या फॅमिलीमध्ये कोणालाच काही माहित नव्हतं. नाहीतर आमच्या फ्रेंड सर्कल मध्ये कोणाला असं ऑटिझम म्हणजे काही बिलकुल माहित नव्हतं आम्हाला. आणखीन काय तिकडे त्यावेळी अवेअरनेस पण एकदम कमी होतं. आणखी मुंबईला आम्ही जेव्हा मी सुट्टीवर आलो तेव्हा मला माहिती पडलं की अवेअरनेस आणखी इंटरव्हेन्शन जे आहे ते मुंबईत फार फार बेटर इट वॉज. तर आम्ही ते लाईफ चेंजिंग डिसिजन घेतलं की आता जे आहे ते आम्ही सोडूया, आता वाइंड अप करूया. आमची जी वेल सेटल्ड लाईफ होती ती सर्व सोडून आम्ही सांगितलं आता फ्रॉम स्क्रॅच विदाउट एनी प्लॅनिंग आम्ही सर्व एकदम चेंज केलं. आणखीन जॅनिस शी हॅज बीन यूज टू वेल ऑर्गनाइज लाईफस्टाईल. अँड यू नो लाईक नो आम्ही आता इंडियात महाराष्ट्रात आलं किंवा इंडियात आलं तर कसं होतं एव्हरीथिंग इन ऑर्गनाइज नथिंग ऑन टाइम. सो यु नो इनिशियली स्टार्टिंगचे 2 वर्ष जॅनिस वॉज कीपिंग आस्किंग अरे व्हॉट टू डू व्हॉट इज हॅपनिंग टू दिस कंट्री काइंड ऑफ लाईक नो. पण आता माय आन्सर वॉज ओनली व्हॉट कॅन आय डू अबाउट इट. सो नाव सेटल्ड इट इन इट लाईक नो. सो आम्ही आता मुंबईच्या रंगात आम्ही पण रंगलो आता.
So sweet. That's so sweet. But guys, tell me, this whole thing of realizing that both your children are on the spectrum of autism. So I'm sure it must be quite a lot of journey. From maybe a denial, from acceptance, then their treatment, their therapy. It's a whole longer process. So how did you actually deal with that?
Yeah, in fact, it was a very, very difficult because we remember, you know, Jeva Bryden, Amsa Mulga, he was maybe 2.5 years. Okay. He used to be so violent, so aggressive. We used to think like, that movie comes to our mind, you know, the Marathi movie, Bapat, which had that Tatya Vinsu and all those things, like, you know. So we used to at that point think like, that as if there is some spirit come on Bryden. त्याच्यावर लाईक नो एज इफ लाईक नो देर इज काय भूत आलाय की काय असं आम्हाला वाटत होतं. कारण काय बोथ ऑफ अस यूज टू लिटरली बी ऑन टॉप ऑफ हिम. आणखीन बोथ आम्हाला कंट्रोल करायला शकत नव्हतं आम्हाला बिकॉज ही यूज टू पुल अ हेअर, यूज टू स्क्रॅच अ बॉडीज अँड ऑल लाईक यू नो. सो अँड वी हॅव नेव्हर सीन एनिथिंग लाईक दिस इन अ लाईफ. And having both the kids, you know, आणखीन आम्हाला काय फॅमिलीचा काही सपोर्ट नाही कारण आम्ही दोघंच पालक आहे मुलांच्या बरोबर. सो देर वॉज नो वेअर यु नो. कारण ब्रायडनला बघायचं आहे, बरोबर जॉयनचे पण इश्यूज चालू आहे. आणखीन जॉयनला पण ती 2 वर्ष मोठी आहे पण ती सर्व हे बघत होती. सो इट वॉज नॉट व्हेरी इझी लाईक नो टू टेक केअर ऑफ वन चाइल्ड एट द सेम टाइम कंट्रोल द अदर चाइल्ड. And both the children have their own issues, you know.
Yeah. And well, in acceptance, Spruha, what we would say is that the day we decided, you know, to come back to Mumbai and start a new life, that was the day we started our acceptance journey. Because I think this is for all the parents over there. Once you start accepting what your child is, I think half your battle is won. So then you move on as a unit. You move on with your children, for your children, and that we always say, you know, we look at our children, or we look through the eyes of our children. So this is how things move for us, or this is how things progressed for us. Even now, I would say, you know, many a times we think. I think now we also started thinking like the autistic mind. And there's this very fine line between acceptance and doing everything for your child. The moment you accept your child, yes, they have a different brain which is wired in a different way, and we need to accept that. What is so called normal, like we all have our own things that we struggle with sometimes like for example, coming in front of the camera, I have my own anxiety. The same with our children, when it comes to communication or when it comes to anything to do with the society, it's they don't know how to handle it, or they're a little anxiety about it. So acceptance is really the key, and early intervention is the key. So our acceptance journey, I think, when we started our acceptance, it went on, and that's the way we broke barriers.
You see, most of the times, Spruha, what happens is, sometimes when we as individuals, when we are anxious, आम्हाला पण हॅबिट असते ना की कान खाजवायचं, की पाय हलवायचे, लाईक दीज आर दीज आर एक्सेप्टेबल बाय सोसायटी. ओके, कारण काय, सर्वांना आम्ही बघतो हे करताना, अँड त्यांना माहिती आहे की कधी करायचं, कसं करायचं. But our children, they have got typical behaviors, like sometimes, they'll flap their hands, okay? Or sometimes, they will hold their ears, or they will move in circles sometimes, okay? So now these things are not acceptable because it is not normal.
Right.
आता जर तर सगळं जग if they are keeping on moving and one person is not moving,
That's
then
abnormal.
that person is abnormal, kind of like, no. So that definition of normal is different because that is how, jagani tasa kela hai.
Right.
So that is how it is.
Guys, let me know about the normal routine schedule. How do you keep the kids busy, and how do you engage them into different kinds of activities? How do you keep them interested in all the different kinds of wonderful things that they have been pursuing?
In fact, there are two parts of it.
Yeah.
Okay, as we now say, one is BC and AC, before Corona and after Corona.
Yeah.
So Janice will brief you on that. Those are two sides of the same coin.
So with before Corona, it was, let me tell you, Spruha, it was a roller coaster ride. Not that it is not right now, but we were hardly in the house compared to what we are right now, So even our society, they used to hardly see us, and they used to see us mostly in all the social platforms, the newspaper or wherever, and that's how they would come to know that, what the children are doing. So before Corona, I mean, we were like actually running from here to there, like children were doing this and that.
आम्हालाच माहित नव्हतं की आम्ही कुठे धावतात.
But we still put things together, we would start our day with, again, as I told you, our me time is very important. So I would start my day with my Zumba, with my exercise. Then, come back home, finish all the course, and then they would have their swimming class, and then school, and then respective therapies. And, traveling in Mumbai is a task. Traveling from one end. So most of our time would go in travel time.
It was quite far, because we stay in Dahisar, okay? And the school was in Goregaon, which is like, say 11 kilometers.
Oh, yes.
Every day, there used to be 4 trips going up and down to school and back, and then again cooking and again taking the tiffins back. So a lot of things were there, so there was hardly any time to sit and think, what to do next, kind of like.
Yeah. And when we talk about cooking, since both the children are into sports, at least me, we were very particular about what they eat, their diet and things like that. So it was not just cooking, it was actually what exactly, because after a swim, they need to have the proper proteins or the actual food which is required. So all this was going on. And the most important thing I wanted to stress here is both our children are into deep sea swimming and are state level swimmers. We had a membership. We actually took a pool membership, and that was actually our me time as a family. So what we used to do is anytime, any part of the day, maybe sometimes when there are no therapies in the evening, we all would go for a swim. And let me tell you, we both didn't know how to swim. And only because of the children, at the age of 40, we learned to swim. And as I was just saying earlier, like we look at the world from our children's eyes. So this was one of the reasons why we learned swimming. We wanted to understand what do they feel, swimming into the deep sea or swimming underwater or whatever.
No, but the real reason was something else, here, I'll tell you. Because both Joanne and Bryden knew swimming. When we used to go to the swimming pool, both used to go into the deep. आणखीन आता काय बाहेर यायचं टाइम झालं तर आम्ही किनाऱ्यावर राहून जॉयन बाहेर ये ब्रायडन बाहेर ये म्हणून, कारण वी डोंट नो टू स्विम, आम्हाला तिकडे जायला होऊ शकत नव्हतं. अँड दे नेव्हर यूज टू कम आउट. देन आता आम्ही पण सांगितलं की ते शेर तर आम्ही सव्वा शेर, आम्ही पण डुबकी मारली अँड वी लर्न स्विमिंग. That is how we overcame, and now we do together as a family.
And believe me, Spruha, the actual happiness that we see with our children, when we do activities together. I remember my son, there was a time when he was learning swimming. If you have seen our YouTube channel, in one of the episodes, we have shown his progress of swimming. There was a time he used to hide his swimming suit.
He was so scared.
He was so scared. And now we can actually jump from 11 to 10 feet high into the pool. And the glitter in his eyes would happen, when his mama used to be in swimming suit. So that is the pleasure of,
doing things together.
So even if we used to not go for holidays much, like vacations and things like that, but we tried to have this me time because there was so much going around with the children. I think almost every week we had some competition or the other. And it's, we have taken our children with this in the process, like there were competitions of, I remember 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. And we prepared them, and that is how also we entered into the Guinness Book of World Records. So we didn't do everything at once. There's a long process, that we together with them, we try to do. So at the end of it, I think then Corona happened. And then we all had, all of us thought, okay, we are at a standstill. But then I think both of us put our heads together.
ना आम्हाला हेच विचार करायला बसलो आम्ही, कारण काय कोरोनाच्या नंतर आम्हाला बिलकुल समजलं नाही का आता लाईफचं काय होणार. कारण काय दोघांना इतकं स्विमिंग आणि स्केटिंगची आदत होती. आता त्यांच्या मुलांना कसं एक्सप्लेन करायचं की आता बाहेर नाही जायचं. That was a big challenge, and Joanne is, need-based. She is partially verbal. म्हणजे एकदम fluently, she is not verbal. And Bryden, he is not verbal. Bryden बिल्कुल बोलत नाही, but his communication is very good. Okay, there are two things, one is talking and other thing is communicating. So his communication levels are very good. So we change everything, we use a different perspective after Corona.
Yeah. And then after Corona, what happened is now we have to stay together in the house for we don't know how long. That's how we started. Then we started doing everything with the children. Together. We started involving them in the kitchen activities, the laundry, you name it, and we used to do everything together. We started seeing a 360-degree change in our children. Our daughter now at the age of 13 can manage at least 60% of the kitchen. She can cook for herself, she cooks for us. Now being parents, what more do you want, right? Our son who's, he takes care of the laundry. So what we started doing is, Spruha, is that we started living actually as a unit. Everything was done together. Even if we had to watch TV, we would watch together. Even if, we had to, say our prayers and we were not allowed to go to church, we would watch our priest on the TV together. So it was everything that came together. And I think that was what, maybe our children also needed that pause, that they were running and suddenly it came to a standstill. So now, we are so happy and so proud to say, that I think almost 60 to 70% of the household chores are managed by the children. And with this, we also bring in fitness, because we are indoors and we do not have much of activities that we can do out. But it has become also a religion in the house. So there was a time, before Corona, that my daughter was, she was doing so many things outside, so she didn't want to go out for walks or for anything. But now she comes to me and say, "Mama, exercise time." So that progress has also happened.
So what we do, when we have a fixed time for exercise every day. So all of us change, okay, in the exercise clothes, shoes, everything, because that is very necessary, so that the children see, that all of us are going to do that activity together, and that is what brings out a change, and that is what this is what gives them an inspiration. This is what you say, आमची ही ऍक्टिव्हिटी प्रोत्साहित करतात त्यांना to do all this.
आणि it is also like a simple small little fun also to change into the exercise clothes and feel something different than the regular whatever is happening in that particular day. So I'm sure they must be very excited doing all these activities together with you guys. मला पुढचा प्रश्न तुम्हाला विचारायचा की नॉर्मली आपल्याकडे अजूनही ऑटिझम असेल किंवा अशा पद्धतीच्या ज्या काही गोष्टी असतील त्याबद्दल तितका अवेअरनेस नाही आहे, तेवढ्या फॅसिलिटीज नाही आहेत जितक्या आपल्याला बाहेरच्या देशांमध्ये बघायला मिळतात. आणि जेव्हा आपल्याला माझ्या आजूबाजूला मी असे काही फॅमिलीज बघितल्यात की अशी एखादी केस आल्यानंतर पहिल्यांदा त्यांचं मोराल डाऊन होतं, पहिल्यांदा ते मनातनंच आधी खचतात. आणि अशा वेळेला जेव्हा मी तुमच्या फॅमिलीकडे बघते तेव्हा मला इतकं छान वाटतं, बिकॉज यू ऑल आर अचिव्हर्स प्रॅक्टिकली. जोॲन असेल किंवा ब्रायडन असेल, त्यांनी एवढ्या अचिव्हमेंट्स त्यांच्या या एजमध्ये केल्या आहेत. मे दॅट बी गिनीज बुक ऑफ वर्ल्ड रेकॉर्ड और दी एशिया पॅसिफिक वर्ल्ड रेकॉर्ड. सो त्यांनी एवढ्या ॲक्टिव्हिटीज केलेल्या आहेत, एवढे रेकॉर्ड सेट केलेत आणि अजूनही त्यांची ती जर्नी चालू आहे. सो ह्या मागची सगळी इन्स्पिरेशन काय होती? अँड प्लीज टेल आवर ऑडियन्सेस अबाउट देअर अचीवमेंट्स अँड देअर ॲक्लेट्स.
In fact, it was initially it was not easy. कारण काय, after moving out of the house, it was even a challenge, to get inside the lift, because sometimes kids will not behave in an appropriate way. कारण काय लिफ्ट मध्ये समजा 2-3 लोक अजून असतात. So they will touch them, these, that, So we used to think a lot about those things.
Right.
Thereafter, when we started understanding the way they feel, that is when we started giving them exposure. I mean, see, normally any child who is in a family, who has got autism, that family does not expose the child outside. Currently, it is very normal, even we felt that, and we need to tell the audience also, tell other families that it is very normal that we'll try, not to speak to people.
Yes.
We will not try to go to family gatherings, socialize, etc. Just
cut off.
Yeah, it's but normal, because we start thinking की लोक बघून काय बोलणार, काय विचार करणार. त्यासाठी इश्यू हेच होतं की आपल्या मुलांना संधी नाही भेटत, कारण आम्ही जास्त विचार करतात लोकांचं. लोक येणार, लोक जाणार, पण संधी कोणाची जाते? मुलांची. आणखी मुलांना नंतर काय होतं की तुम्ही व्हेजिटेबल म्हणून तुम्ही घरात ठेवतात. देन यू नेव्हर गिव्ह एन अपॉर्च्युनिटी टू इव्हन अंडरस्टँड की आमची पोरं काय करू शकतात म्हणून. इट कॅन बी एनिथिंग.
Yes,
इट कॅन बी इव्हन आयर्निंग ऑफ क्लोथ्स.
Correct, yes.
पण जेव्हापर्यंत आम्ही त्यांना संधी देणार नाही तेव्हापर्यंत तुम्हाला समजणार कसं की काय करू शकतात. पहिले ट्राय तरी करा, नंतर बघूया काय होतं ते. आता बिकॉज ऑफ दॅट ओनली आय एम सेइंग वाय वी स्टार्टेड स्विमिंग अँड स्केटिंग. कारण बोथ जोॲन अँड ब्रायडन वर व्हेरी अग्रेसिव्ह. त्यांचे एनर्जी लेवल्स खूप होतं. आणखीन हे एनर्जीजला आम्हाला चॅनलाइज करायचं होतं की इकडे तिकडे घरी उड्या नाही मारायच्या. त्यासाठी आम्ही त्याला स्केटिंग आणि स्विमिंग मध्ये घातलं, कारण ओव्हर देअर दे विल ॲटलीस्ट लर्न समथिंग. Slowly we saw that they started loving that.
Yeah, it became their passion.
So that is when we gave them exposure. हे गिनीज बुक ऑफ वर्ल्ड रेकॉर्ड डीप सी स्विमिंग हे काय आमच्या मनातलं प्लॅन नाही तर ठरवलेलं नव्हतं हे. दिस वॉज विथ द फ्लो की त्यांना आम्ही एनरोल केलं स्विमिंग मध्ये. वी सॉ त्यांना आवडत लागलं स्विमिंग ऑर स्केटिंग अँड देन वी गेव देम अपॉर्च्युनिटी. आणखीन काय slowly they enjoyed and it was no pressure from us. So what we are telling parents is don't give pressure. It's not only kids with autism, in general also.
Yeah.
In general, so we have seen, what generally what we as parents also what we feel. Ki what we see in our children. What are our dreams which are unfulfilled. ही स्वप्न आम्हाला पाहिजे असतात की आमची मुलं पुरी करू. This is all the pressure what goes on a child. Suppose I did not become a doctor, I want my child to become a doctor, and then they put the pressure on the child. Maybe the child could have become a scientist, who knows?
Yeah.
But then from the beginning you are giving a stethoscope on a needle in the hand of a child. You become a doctor, you are not giving a child opportunity. So that is how it is, So
I would like to just say one thing here is that, we need to follow the passion of our children. See, till now, we are giving our children everything to do, all exposure, but we don't know at the end yet that what will be
successful or not. आम्हाला माहित नाही की पुढे काय होणार आहे. आपल्या हातात हेच आहे की मुलांना संधी द्या, अपॉर्च्युनिटी द्या, आणखी मग बघून बसा की बरोबर होणार ही संधी नाही होणार. जर तर नाही होत तर चालेल, it's okay, because see, for example, Joanne and Bryden are two different children. What Joanne can do, Bryden maybe cannot do. So what we are telling people also, current Ms. Spruha, we have started a YouTube channel.
Yes.
आता आम्ही या channel वर so many things we show, that what Joanne and Bryden are doing. This is not for parents, पालकांना हे आम्ही नाही सांगायचं हे करत की तुम्ही जॉईन अँड ब्रायडनला फॉलो करा. आम्ही फक्त हेच सांगतात की यू लुक ॲट व्हॉट दे आर डुईंग. आणखीन आपल्या मुलांना बघा, आणखीन त्यांना संधी द्या. मे बी नॉट कुकिंग, मे बी समथिंग एल्स.
Yes. Because every child is different. That's what we say, right? So what Joanne and Bryden can do, maybe someone can't do, and what someone can do, they cannot do. But what we are trying to just show, to the viewers and the audience is that yes, our children can do things, but we just have to be with them. We have to motivate them.
Believe in them.
And the most important thing is you have to give them unconditional love. That simplifies the entire process. I mean, till now, I never dreamt, Spruha, that I will be sitting in front of you and having this interview. But it is because of them. It's because of them that we are here. So
we are also proud to say that we are now called parents of Joanne and Bryden.
That's so wonderful.
Because see, it is become opposite, Maybe Ambani's child must be called Ambani ka beta hai. Okay, but for us it is opposite, We are called by the names of our children. See, Joanne and Bryden's parents are coming. People come to us at times, saying that, can we have your permission to take a photo with Joanne and Bryden?
Yeah, before Corona.
So
even now we get such offers, Spruha, but because of the safety issues, we have tried not. I mean, we are trying not to go into that zone. But we just want, people and parents to understand that yes, our children can do it and they will do it. And it's not only children on the special needs. I'm talking about all children.
Any children for that matter.
You just have to believe in them. Allow them to follow them. Of course, you have to guide them. Yeah. And I think, once you do something what is passionate to yourself, things become easier. Like you're in this big industry, the film industry, and it's because you have that passion, things are easier for you. So I think we have to give our children that sort of leverage that yes, okay, they want to be. So because sometimes you can't always do white collar jobs. And now things are moving. I mean, things are moving in so many with this.
Like for example, marketing. Maybe 30 years back, people would have thought, हा काय साबण विकायला जातो. So that is how, mentalities are.
By the way, Brian
Things are
started
changing.
his first job as a.
Yes, I was a door-to-door salesman.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay. That is why he is so passionate about this.
Yeah, because see, I used to work for Eureka Forbes selling vacuum cleaners.
Okay.
Okay, so I know, how to connect with people down the line and up the line,
Yeah.
So that is how it is. You give, and slowly, my passion built up, to be an owner of a company whatsoever. So that is how we are saying, that give children the passion. It's not only, selling soaps, but there is a much more broader perspective to it.
Yeah.
Everyone must get a fair chance to do whatever he or she likes, or
Whatever he and she could excel in. So we never know what miracles can the children do.
Absolutely.
It's fantastic to see them grow in that particular way. Guys, it was so amazing to talk to you because you are the epitome of positivity. You guys are amazing. It was so much fun talking to you. I wish this was the before Corona period and I could actually come there and meet you all in person, and Joanne and Bryden also. And I would love to do that when the situation, calms down a bit. And we will do another video. Let's keep our fingers crossed that we can meet personally someday. But as we are ending this interview, what you would like to say? Any special kind of advice or any special words?
What we'll only say to our audience, is see the evil, not the label, which has always been our motto. Give our children the opportunity and they will excel. Secondly, don't compare children. Okay, that is the most worst of things that parents do. They tend to compare. Now, when you compare, you are putting undue pressure on your child. Rather than that, you look at what is good at your own child, and then you own those things. Like you say, if you have a piece of iron, you sharpen them, and then you turn it into a knife. Earlier, it doesn't have value. But then the more you sharpen on those talents, then you make it value added. So just look at your own children. Maybe I will just list out whatever Joanne and Bryden has been doing, just because we have given them opportunities. See, both Joanne and Bryden are in the Guinness Book of World Record for skating. Both of them are deep sea swimmers. Now they are into Special Olympics, both of them. Special Olympics Bharat. I mean, there are photos also there on their Facebook page of Special Olympics Bharat. Couple of months back, you won't believe, Joanne was crowned as the first teenage chef across the country.
Oh, wow.
On an online cooking competition.
Wow.
Then all laundry work, of say putting clothes on the stand. Also to mention that since they could not do skating in Corona times, so we started putting them on skates in the house, and they are drying clothes on skates. वॉशिंग मशीन मधून कपडे काढतात, आणखीन ते बाहेर दोरीवर स्केट्सवर घेऊन जातात. So that is how we are building their passion.
Yeah, I mean, they're meeting their passion because they were really missing skating. Yeah?
Yeah.
And it's also their sensory need. They need to get their, their own sensory needs fulfilled. Plus, it was also becoming fun for them. So that is what we tried at home.
After that, सर्व कपड्यांची घडी जे करायची असेल, सर्व घडी करतात. कपड्यांचे सेट करून सगळ्यांचे आमचे काढून ते कबर्ड मध्ये ठेवतात. Not only that, see, I'm going into these details so that parents can understand, and not only special kids, other children also. Now what we also do,
करेक्ट, बाकीच्या सो कॉल्ड नॉर्मल मुलांसाठी सुद्धा ही स्टोरी तितकीच इन्स्पिरेशनल आहे. सो आय थिंक
Exactly.
फक्त ऑटिस्टिकच नाही, पण सगळ्याच मुलांनी हे
नीट लक्ष देऊन आणि त्यांच्या पालकांनी ऑफकोर्स नीट लक्ष देऊन ऐकण्यासारखं आहे की अ लिटल बिट ऑफ लव्ह, अ लिटल बिट ऑफ केअर, अ लिटल बिट ऑफ बिलीफ कॅन लिटरली मेक wonders to the children.
No, because see, nowadays, lot of parents say that we don't have any, we don't know what to do to occupy our children.
Yeah.
So what we should do, nowadays we are eating a lot of corn, butte. So what we do, both the children, they sit every 2-3 days and they peel the corn. Ek dana kaatda. So there is a lot of fine motor skills which are getting developed, because our children need to have lot of fine motor skills, as well as gross motor skills. Dhania mein anta, those leaves they peel. Okay, so all these activities, build up the functions. Like for example, there are a lot of children who probably cannot even button or unbutton the shirts, clothes. I'm talking about specifically children under the autism spectrum. But when we engage them in these small things,
This helps in the life skills.
This help in the life skills, so that our children get relatively independent. It may be looking very small, but you go to the largest perspective as to how independent we are trying to make them. So these are small, as we call them, baby steps. Take these baby steps and definitely our kids will reach very far. Give them every opportunity that is possible.
Yeah, and finally, I want to just mention one thing is parents also need to take care of themselves.
Yes.
That's very, very important. I mean, I know a lot of families who say, no, we don't have time for this, we don't have time for that. But you have to make time for yourself, because only if you are okay, you can take care of your family, people around you. You can give your 100%. So the need of the hour is also that, right? That you have to be physically and mentally fit. So, and of course, parents who have special needs kids, we know that we need to live longer for our children, and we need to live properly. I mean,
with the children. They need us.
They need
And a healthy
So
life.
it's so very important.
And a healthy life for you guys. That's probably more important.
Exactly. So we need to take care of our own physical health as well as mental health.
Yeah, and
Very important.
And I think we all just need to stay happy. I know times are not easy for all of us. We all say we need to stay happy. It is difficult, but we can try, and we should try. At least for our children, that we know that we need to live a life with them. We should try to do the best, and I think our children also learn from us. Role modeling happens from, because this is who they see now. They see the parents only now doing things for them. So
And don't compare yourself with others, that they are more happier than us, etc. Their child is doing so better.
yeah, there is
Because
something
see,
like that. Yeah.
happiness, as we say, it is very comparative. Okay, look at people who are lower than you. Automatically, you'll be more happier, because you cannot compare.
Wow.
Because even Mukesh Ambani looks at someone else that he's more happier. Sorry, I keep on talking about him.
Brian.
I keep on talking about him because he's like an icon. So there are people who are down than us, who are less fortunate
Less
than us.
fortunate, yes.
At least we are far better than them. Look at those things, that at least and then this will automatically increase and boost your own positivity. There is always people above you that you can compare, but look at people down and life will be far much better.
And believe me, Spruha, from the time we have started our venture into advocacy via our YouTube channel or Instagram or whatever, the most satisfying thing is when we talk to a parent, and a parent comes to us with their grief, and
Not only from cities,
it is,
Just
even
yesterday
from
we were
villages.
speaking to a parent from UP with a far off remote village, and she did not have anything much because of lack of awareness to say, and at least we could share some positivity, share some light.
Yeah.
Even from Pakistan, parents reach out to Janice.
So if we can give light and we can give hope to one heart, in a day, or whatever, that is the most satisfying thing. So
we get a good night's sleep, that okay, fine, we have done something good,
Yeah, and also I would like to thank organizations, individuals like you, Spruha, who are taking this effort,
taking this initiative,
yes, to understand our side of the life, to understand and bridge the gap, because now we know that in the few years coming, we want an inclusive community for our children.
Yes.
And you all are helping us to build this up. We need people like you, the
you know
media.
what, Janice? It's the smallest of the effort that we as an individual can put in. I think we had to talk and we had to listen to all these things. I think it was the time that all these things should come, out in the people. People should talk. Start talking about it at least. People should start communicating. People should start bridging these gaps. It's the high time now. And thank you so much, guys, for coming today and talking to me, because it was really in a long time. आजच्या इतकी पॉझिटिव्हिटी, आजच्या इतकी मजा मला खूप दिवसांनी आली आहे या गप्पा मारताना. माझ्या नॉर्मल लाईफस्टाईलमध्ये मी जे काही करत असते आणि आमच्या छोट्याशा जगामध्ये जे काही उलटपालट होत असते, त्याच्यामुळे आम्ही एवढे सगळे डिस्टर्ब होत असतो. आम्ही सध्या सगळेजण सारखे या कोरोनाच्या पिरियडमध्ये डिप्रेशन आलंय, फ्रस्ट्रेशन आलंय, इरिटेशन आलंय, ह्या सगळ्या गप्पा मारतो. आणि त्यावेळेला जेव्हा तुमचे आत्ताचे विचार मला ऐकायला मिळतात, तेव्हा इट गिव्स मी अ न्यू रे ऑफ होप, इट गिव्स मी अ न्यू लाईट, इट गिव्स मी whole new positivity, and I really thank you guys for that. पुन्हा एकदा मी तुमचे मनापासून आभार मानते आणि पुन्हा एकदा आय रिअली विश की आपण पर्सनली भेटूया. थँक्यू गाईज, थँक्यू सो मच.
थँक्यू सो मच.
आज या गप्पा माझ्यासाठी खरंच काइंड ऑफ आय ओपनर अशा होत्या. फक्त स्पेशल मुलंच नाहीत, पण इतर नॉर्मल मुलांच्या पालकांनीही त्यांच्याशी कसं वागलं पाहिजे आणि त्यांच्यासाठी काय केलं पाहिजे याबद्दल खूप सुंदर गोष्टी आपल्याला ब्रायन आणि जॅनिस या दोघांनीही सांगितल्या. त्यांचं एक वाक्य मला खूप आवडलं, लुक ॲट दी एबल नॉट दी लेबल. आय थिंक आपल्या आसपासच्या सगळ्यांशीच वागताना ही एम्पथी आपल्या सगळ्यांमध्ये असणं खूप गरजेचं आहे. हा व्हिडिओ, या गप्पा जर तुम्हाला आवडल्या असतील तर शेअर करायला विसरू नका, आम्हाला कमेंट्समध्ये कळवायला विसरू नका, आणि लाईक, शेअर, सबस्क्राईब हे सगळं जरूर करा. पुन्हा भेटूया पुढच्या आठवड्यात अशाच एका नवीन व्हिडिओसोबत. तोपर्यंत बाय बाय.